hearing raw emotion as opposed to superficial sentimentality. Rhonda's bringing some of that back, and it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I would like to know how that whole record was put together.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would like to have been there while that record was being done and while the Dolly Parton record was being done, because in different ways, although with some interrelationships, those are very artistically strong products, and they've got the emotional content, and you can do anything you want to bluegrass, but as long as I can keep hearing that naked devotion, I'm going to keep coming back. When I don't hear it, when I hear Tony Rice sing, Tony Rice sounds to me, like bluegrass's answer to Sinatra. All sophistication, all surface gloss, and no involvement.
Rounder, I think,
This is for publication. I don't care.
All right. Talking to the tape recorder.
Yeah, really.
Rounder, from where I sit, Rounder became king and queen of the rootsy independence. It sort of bypassed County and Rebel, and King and Starday were on their last legs or gone by the time they started. I don't recall, but it sort of it stepped into a slot where County was putting out records, and it became something much bigger than that. You've been observing the scene since those days. Do you have any thoughts as to well, you may not agree with me, but if you do,
County's
why?
aesthetic, David Freeman's original aesthetic was more limited. He was searching for rootsy bluegrass like Red Allen. Those Joe Green fiddle records were about as modern as Uptown as he got.
Yeah.
Rounder had room for all of that and more. Rebel was something that Dave didn't inherit until the late 70s, early 80s,
Right.
around about that time, when Dick Freeland decided to go out of the record biz. And then the Sugar Hill operation grew out of that. And Sugar Hill has been the most eclectic of the three. Probably had the greatest number of good-selling records. I mean, Barry Pause, who just loves all kind of old music himself, has a very astute ear, production sense, and good marketing. A lot of good things go on at that place. I would say Sugar Hill is Rounder's closest rival, and I'd say in terms of strictly bluegrass, on any given day, one of them's going to be up and one of them's going to be down, but that position will soon be reversed. Fortunately, the world is big enough for both of them. But Rebel tends to record nice but sort of second echelon bluegrass bands. People are starting out. Rounder doesn't seem to have any policy like that, and I think it's worked out for Rounder because collectively they've got a good ear, and they'll produce whatever sounds good to somebody at the time for whatever reasons. I have no idea how much they listen to their staff people, but I have the feeling that people like Scott Billington, who's been very aggressively out there after modern electric blues, after the high-powered Zydeco bands and those kinds of things. I think they trust him because I think this is someone I've never met. I've never talked to any of them. I'm just judging by the product I see.
Right.
I think that he's got enough intuition and smarts and everything that he gets to go about what he's going to do, and they know that they're going to get a good product.
Right.
And so they've been I would say with the modern Zydeco bands, they've got a healthy selection of those things too.
Yeah.
And I've gone out occasionally to see some of that Zydeco, and for me, the volume is too fucking loud. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But on records, when you can control the level, it can be pretty nice.
Right. Scott's proudest of his Zydeco records, but of course, he's. I don't know to what degree he's shaping it, and I haven't explored this as opposed to the bands themselves.
He may be. I mean, certainly you shape anything by what you choose to emphasize and de-emphasize, and what you choose to publish and what you choose not to publish, and how you document, market, and so forth. All of those decisions have a, but I think that music is going the way that country music is going. It's becoming increasingly industrialized, while it's trying to hold on to some of the roots that gave it justification in the first place. And it simply reacts to what its audiences at home will tolerate, accept, and encourage, and what people abroad will. And I don't think there's too much difference in that. I mean, you could send out Dewey Balfa's honky-tonk band with the drums and electric bass and the amplified fiddle and accordion. Nobody'd think twice about that. So, the Zydeco bands go out as very high-tech units as well, and people don't mind having their eardrums blasted out. I got to use my ears for not just my livelihood, but my reason for being, and I don't stay around when that stuff's going on.
Mark Savoy dismissed it in one word. He said, that's cider rap. No, 2 words. That's cider rap shit. So he's not impressed, and he finds it as an abomination.
But he's almost as old as I am, and he's seen, he lived down the road from Dennis McGee, and so Mark knows where that music's been, and it's a side of it he doesn't care for, and it's if it's taking too much from R&B and rap, and techno, it'll either pull back or somebody will come along that's their equivalent of the Johnson Mountain Boys, and start bringing those other elements to the foreground again, and the old tensions fold back in upon themselves and resolve, and then a new set of tensions arrive. But basically, it's always about tradition versus commerce versus industrialization, and Rounder is certainly content and has been intelligent enough to have it both ways. That's one company that's not identified with any single kind of music. I mean, yeah, they don't do classical music, yeah, they don't do jazz, but anything else in the in the pop, the broader popular music spectrum, I guess outside of the showbiz and that kind of thing, is it's fair game for that. And who knows? I mean, if they'd set out consciously to do that, whether they would have or not. And I think it's meant that they probably put out a lot of music that's fallen into the Bermuda Triangle. But the balance has been that the rest of it has done okay. And the market response to what they've done in the last 30 years has certainly justified any and all of it, especially for someone like me, whom the popular records allow to produce things that we all know are not going to be popular, and we just go ahead and do them anyway. I mean, that's like working for a foundation, not for a cash register, bottom line, profit and loss, industrial. I mean, it's been wonderful for me. I don't have to sit down and write huge applications. I just submit a record and, a few months later, it's sitting out there. And one or two people tell me it's pretty good. And that's it. I go off to do the next.
Well, I couldn't have